So in today's video, we're going to be talking about our costs of the last 4 weeks travelling through Spain and Portugal.
Yeah, we done a video recently about how we were travelling through France and how much everything costs from that, and you guys seem to really enjoy that. So we thought we'd do one for Spain and Portugal as well, because it's literally bang on 4 weeks again that we've been in these countries. So in this video, we're going to tell you how much everything costs in terms of parking, in terms of everything that we've done, but also how it compares a little bit to France and what we've actually found, what we've enjoyed, and bit of all sorts really. So yeah. Should we just get straight into it?
Let's get into it.
So just like last time, we are going to start with the lowest cost and we're going to go all the way up to the highest cost. And again, just like last time, the lowest cost was facilities.
Yes, so again, this is water, black waste and grey waste. Last time it was completely free everywhere we went. This time we had to spend a grand total of £7.49.
Still not bad for a month's worth of facilities. And we even got free electricity at one point, didn't we? So we could get the van all topped up again and yeah, no charge whatsoever. So £7.49 all in, I think is very good. Yeah. So next up, we've got laundry, which comes in at
£29.17. So we're pretty much averaging about £30 a month. I think last month was about the same. So yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, and we have found out it varies massively where you go. So the Revolution machines are really simple to use, they're really easy, they're everywhere, but they are quite expensive. Whereas we went to a laundrette and it was, what, £5 for a wash and dry, which was the equivalent in a Revolution was about 16 quid. So it's quite a difference, but yeah, just under 30 quid, isn't it? Next up, we've got our park up. So whether that's a campsite, whether that's an air, or whether that's parking on the side of the road, which we have done a couple of times, still didn't come in too expensive, did it?
No, so we spent £42.24 on these things, and that does include one air that we paid for showers as well. Yeah. That was very nice.
It was very good.
We have found generally in Spain and Portugal, you have to pay a little bit more. Like again, it's just nowhere near
UK prices.
No.
Yeah.
But I think in Portugal, there's a no wild camping law. Yeah. And you have to park in the designated areas, which there's loads of, but sometimes they're just a few pounds.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah. And it's worth bearing in mind that that campsite that Amy said about where we paid for showering and bits, I think that was near enough half of our overall cost from the month. Yeah. So yeah, it's literally like £2-3 quid a night here and there, isn't it? So on this stretch, we have actually done a lot more driving, and our next cost is tolls. So where we've done more driving, naturally that is going to be a slightly higher cost, isn't it?
Yes, so we have spent £42.34 on tolls. I think it was about £16 in France. So it's jumped up quite a lot. But again, we've done a lot more driving. We've wanted to get to places quicker, so they're really useful. In that way, you can make this as expensive or as cheap as you want, depending on how much time you've got. Yeah. And also, one thing to mention is we still might be getting a fine yet, because we didn't understand how Portugal tolls worked, and some of it is number plate.
Yeah, number plate recognition.
Yeah, which you're supposed to register before you go on them roads, and we didn't realise that. All
right, so next up, it is activities. And again, we haven't done loads of activities. I think there's one main day that stands out, which has cost us more than most of the trip, and that's when we went to Porto. It was a bit more expensive actually getting in there and out, wasn't it, and the things that we've done. But it still comes in at quite a reasonable price, I think, for 4 weeks on the road.
God's sake. £44.10.
There's a lot of around the £40 mark.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, so £44.10. Again, that was mainly from going to Porto. It's the cable car. We also did a museum in the Douro Valley. I think that's pretty much it. I think it was mainly for Porto. Again, we mainly like doing free things like walking and just seeing the sights and stuff. So activities don't normally cost as much, but we make up for that in other ways.
Which brings us on to our next point, which is treats. So that includes eating out, includes alcohol. Again, we don't drink that much, but we did have one particular blowout where we felt very rough afterwards. So that is actually quite expensive over the month, isn't it?
Yes, so that has come to £302.25. And that is pretty much the same as last month, so we didn't learn anything. No. But yeah, there was two main things. It was, again, going to Porto. I really wanted sushi.
So Amy got sushi.
So I got sushi. And yeah.
Oh, hang on, and you really wanted cocktails.
And then I really wanted cocktails after. I think because it's coming to the end of our trip, I just needed a bit of a celebration day. So we had sushi, and then we went out the same evening for dinner and cocktails. So that was pretty much a lot of what that...
Porto was expensive.
What that total was. Yeah.
Brilliant, but expensive.
Yeah, but needed to be done. Need to be better now.
Now, of course, one of our biggest expenses on this trip is going to be fuel. This time we've actually driven about 2,000 miles, I believe it was, in the 4 weeks. So yeah, that's going to be quite a big expense, and that comes to
£319.88p. So again, it's quite a bit more, about £100 more than last month, but again, we've done so many more miles. Covered a lot more distance. So yeah, can't really help that one.
And then our final cost, as you might have guessed, is our food fund, which has been way over budget once again, but not quite as over as what it was in France. It's generally been quite a bit cheaper in Spain and Portugal, hasn't it? But we've just indulged a bit more.
So we spent £483.88p.
I think it was, yeah.
On food, and yeah, again, about 120-ish pound cheaper than what we spent in France, even though food is supposedly a lot cheaper. There is one thing that we did realise that we realised way too late into our trip. We started going to Lidl like literally the last week.
A lot of you guys commented saying use Lidl, use Aldi.
Yeah.
And then we realised that we should have used Lidl a lot earlier and should have used Aldi a lot earlier.
Lidl is so much cheaper than the Intermarchés we were going to. But yeah, we've learned a lesson there. A bit late, but we'll know for next time.
I was going to say thank you for that suggestion, because that will really help us in our next trip when we come back, which is exciting. So that is everything. That's everything we have spent in the last 4 weeks during 2,000 miles of Spain and Portugal.
Not everything, but like we said before, we're not including certain things. We've got Taco. He eats so much.
More than us.
And we're not including the price for that, because you don't have Taco.
Wouldn't recommend him either.
We haven't included any crossings and things like that, and subscriptions or phone contracts, but you get the general idea. It's just for the travel section.
Which is how much?
£1,271.35.
Which is about 30 quid more than what
month.
we spent in France. It's different costs this time. So whereas
some have been lower, some have been
I was going to say,
higher.
last time we barely spent anything on airs and parking at all, whereas this time we have spent a lot more. Last time we spent a hell of a lot more on food, and this time we spent quite a bit less. So it's definitely different costs. What did you prefer? Did you prefer France or did you prefer Spain and Portugal?
I don't know. I think maybe we'll do a whole separate video on that, because I think there's different reasons for both. And it's just, you do notice like such a difference when you cross a border and it's completely, I mean, it's a different country, but
you expect it to be similar until it goes further.
Yeah, and it is quite different.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely been noticeable, the roads. The roads are very different. French roads are amazing generally. They've been very, very good.
Spanish roads are quite bad. Just potholy, bumpy. We notice it a lot more because we have Taco.
Yeah,
and he doesn't like bumpy roads. He moans when we have a bit of a bumpy drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, we like the nice smooth roads. Portugal was probably the worst roads in terms of narrow and very windy, hilly.
I think that was on us because we chose to do the route.
I don't know, I think that's just how it is.
Okay. Just Portugal in general.
Yeah, maybe off the main roads. I think that is how it is.
It was steeper.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lot more mountain roads that were kind of like just get up and get down it.
Yeah.
Instead of it being more of a gradual slope. What else have we noticed between?
Language barrier. Yeah. Still, like last time, there's a massive language barrier. We were very naive and thinking a lot more people would speak English. They definitely don't. They
don't, but one thing we have noticed, particularly in Portugal, is they are a lot friendlier. So there's still that barrier, but they're willing to work with you.
Yeah, they try a bit more.
Whereas we did find France was a bit more like, oh, they're English.
Yeah.
We might be wrong on that, but that's just our impression.
But also, when we went to Portugal, we went to Porto, and obviously a lot more people spoke English in Porto because it's a main city. So it's probably because most of our trip has been quite rural and off the touristy tracks. So we're finding locals.
And speaking of locals, local delicacies is something we have quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
So Spain, patatas bravas, basically like potato wedges with a really nice sauce. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Portugal, obviously, port has been very good, which we didn't know we liked before coming.
No.
And now we like it a lot, so England's going to be more expensive when we go back. Every place has been amazing for its own reasons. Like Amy said, maybe we'll do another video about what we liked from each country, because it has been amazing. But that is our costs.
Yeah.
And we are now on our way back to the UK, which we really don't want to be doing.
No.
So until the next trip, that is probably our cost for a little while.
Maybe we should do a UK cost and see the difference.
Yeah. If you're interested in a month living in the UK in comparison to all of this, then let us know in the comments. But yeah, if you're not, let us know as well.
Yeah.
So we won't bother. But thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it's been helpful to you. If you're thinking of going to Spain or Portugal, then hopefully that's given you some sort of context into how much things are going to cost. And if you've got any questions about it, then obviously put them in the comments and we will reply to all of them.